Hello friends, and welcome to today's video. We're going to talk about the new Red Velvet album, Chill Kill. So I got out my copy of their last full from like 5 years ago now. This is Perfect Velvet. Isn't she beautiful? I love this album, but that's not the point. We're not talking about that album. We're talking about their new album. So, to see how this video is going to work, I'm going to run through the track list, give you my thoughts on each song, and then give this album a score out of 10 at the end. However, I do have a couple disclaimers before we continue. Disclaimer number 1, this album is new. It came out last night. I've heard each song around twice, let's say. My opinions on all of them very much may change over time. Second disclaimer, my standard one. Everything I say in this video is just my opinion. You do not have to agree with my opinion because, as the mug always says, music is subjective, and that is great. Okay, now that we have all of that out of the way, let's get started. And first up, we have the title track, the titular Chill Kill. And I think there's a phenomenal song under here. I think the potential is there. It's just under a lot of stuff. But let's talk about the song itself, okay? Starting with the verses, the first one's fine. Like, it's not a bad verse by any means, but the second one, much better if you ask me. The bridge is also masterful. Like, it is absolutely stunning. I'm kind of enthralled by it, and I'm obsessed with it. As for the pre-chorus, it's pretty good. I think it builds well into the chorus. Like, it's not my favorite Red Velvet pre-chorus, but it's a solid one. The chorus, meanwhile, the second half is excellent. I will give it that. The second half of this chorus is phenomenal. It is very, very good. But the first half, I'm not the biggest fan. It's not bad, but it's just nowhere near as good as the second half. I will concede it has grown on me already, like, just since I first heard it. However, I'm still not that into it. Big picture, though, this is not Red Velvet's best title. Not by a long shot. However, for me, Red Velvet is one of those groups where they have a lot of amazing titles, but they also have a lot of bad titles. And the fact that this isn't bad just means that it is already far from their worst. Next up, we have Knock Knock, Who's There? And I swear to God, nobody does a dark, creepy song like Red Velvet does. They just have their way with them, and they're all so good. Like, think about how many songs would make a phenomenal, like, Halloween music video. It's honestly a power move. Back to the song, though. The verses are amazing. The first one is so good, and the second one is somehow even better. The pre-chorus also has this ethereal, almost ghostly vibe to it. Like, you could play this at the Haunted Mansion, and it would not feel out of place. The chorus, meanwhile, is phenomenal. I'm in love with it, and I want a music video for this song because I feel like the aesthetics of said video would go off. Our next song is Underwater, and it's nice. It's pretty toned down, but it still fucks hard, if that makes sense. Like, I was vibing my soul out to this chorus, and also the verses are great too. It's really just a good song all around. But I really have nothing else to tell you about the song. Like, it's an enjoyable listening experience. If you like more low-key songs from Red Velvet, you'll enjoy this one. But that's all I got, so we're gonna move on. Next is Will I Ever See You Again, and I'm obsessed with this song, just a little bit. I knew from the first second that it was gonna give me everything I needed, and yet I was still surprised by how good it actually was. The verses, for example, right? They're pretty toned down, they're pretty chill, but the first one builds so beautifully, and then the second one, right? It's very similar to the first one, but it's just ever so slightly more upbeat in a way that works perfectly. And I think the background music is doing most of the heavy lifting for my enjoyment of the song, if you were wondering, just because, like, it flows so flawlessly through the song. It ties it all together beautifully. It's absolutely phenomenal, and I love it. The other part of the song that I adore is the chorus. This chorus is, lyrically speaking, pretty short. Like, I think it's only 4 or 5 lines, but the background music just makes it feel so grand and sprawling, and it's so good. And honestly, I think this is one of those songs that you just need to listen to. On to the next song, which is Nightmare, and with this one, it almost feels like a cute pop song met a dark, creepy pop song, and they merged and created this, and it shouldn't work, but it does. Like, the verses have a very Tim Burton feel to them, and I don't mean new Tim Burton, I mean like old Tim Burton, when he was making weird shit, but good films, not whatever he's doing now. Like, he's good stuff. The pre-chorus and chorus, meanwhile, have this almost cute vibe to them. They reminded me a bit of Feel My Rhythm, which feels like the opposite of the verses, and it feels like it shouldn't work, but it does. And I think that's honestly Red Velvet's like special skill as a group. They can shift vibes so easily within just like the genres of pop. Like they can go from cute pop to dark and creepy pop to just absolute banger pop perfection. They'll give you a ballad here and there. Their versatility is very impressive. Our next song is Iced Coffee, and I'm gonna be honest, we're gonna have honesty time together. This background music pisses me off, not because it's bad though. It's not. It's good background music. My core issue with it is it's a smidge too loud in a bit of a noticeable way for me, and it is in a way that annoys me greatly. Ignoring the background music's volume issue, this is another nice song. It's one of the more vocally based ones again, and Red Velvet has amazing singers, so it's a nice listening experience. That said, again, like, I can't really tell you much about this song with more the vocals are good. It's a pretty song. If you like vocally based Red Velvet songs, you'll enjoy this, and with that, we're gonna keep going. Our next song is One Kiss, and this is Halloween pop, if ever there has been a Halloween pop song. Like, it's dark and it's creepy, but it's also absolute pop perfection. Like, I'm obsessed. The verses are so good. The chorus is great, and I really like the background music. However, the part that really shines for me is the pre-chorus. I want this pre-chorus studied because it is too good. Like, I audibly gasped the first time I heard it. It is absolutely amazing. Up next is Bulldozer, and this song is a fine song. However, I didn't like it as much as I liked the other songs on this album. I think it's because there's certain elements of this song that don't feel like a Red Velvet song, primarily in the verses. Plus, they chant very repetitively in the chorus, "What can I break?" And that just bothers me. Like, I don't like an overly repetitive chorus. We've established that, so I didn't like it here. But then there are the parts that do feel like Red Velvet parts, and those parts are good. But the parts that don't feel like Red Velvet really bring the song down in a way that, again, like, I enjoyed this song to a certain extent, but it's definitely the weakest on the album for me. We have reached the penultimate song, which is Wings, and this is, again, a more toned-down, vocally based song, and it's fine, but I feel like this is an issue that goes more to the album, honestly, but with an album this long, like, this album has 10 songs, by the time we've reached this point, every archetype they're going to do of a song has been done, and unless you do it substantially better later in the album, it almost starts to feel like filler. And I don't want you to misunderstand and think that I didn't enjoy the song. I did enjoy it. And I think independently of the album, I'd like it a lot more because it's a nice listening experience. The vocals are really pretty, but I'm an ADHD girly, okay? We are 30 minutes into the album by the time this song hits, and you need to keep my attention, and this failed to do that. Okay, last but not least, we have Scenery, and this is our full-fledged ballad on the album, and it's nice. Like, as a person who enjoys ballads, I was into it, but it also means I have very little to actually tell you about the song, because at the end of the day, most ballads are very similar. However, as a ballad lover, I like this one. I enjoyed it. I thought it was really pretty. If you are also into ballads, I would recommend this. However, I will give you the caveat, this is not Red Velvet's best ballad. They have better ballads in their catalog, but this is a nice one. But that is all I have to tell you about this album. So with that, it is score time, and overall, I'm going to give it an 8.8 out of 10. I did greatly enjoy it, even if it did start to drag by, like, the 30-minute mark. That's just my brain. Like, that's not Red Velvet's fault, really. So, I enjoyed this. The songs were good. My one complaint, though, I wanted, like, just pure pop perfection. I know they can do it. They have albums with B-sides that are some of their best, and I wanted one of those here. Like, I wanted one of those Red Velvet B-sides that just outshines everything else they do. We didn't get that, but what we got is still very good. So yeah, 8.8 out of 10. And that is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to comment your thoughts on this album down below. Let me know how you feel. You can also like and subscribe if you want to, or don't. I will be okay either way. And in the description, I'm going to put all my other Red Velvet reviews, so you can check those out if you so choose. And yeah, thank you again for watching. Bye!